Okay, so today we are going to talk about collaboration on several different levels, and Evelyn is going to take this away, and I'll have a slideshow that will be kind of showing you where we're going. And feel free to jump in with comments, questions as we go. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Okay.
So Cami and I have been enjoying an experience of sharing our teaching expertise. And it's really been a lot of fun. And so we wanted to share with you what we've been doing. And it's like anything that we learn about, maybe there's just a few pieces that will work for you in your studio, but we wanted to share it with you this morning. So let's go on, Cami.
Okay, why isn't it letting me go on? Oh, okay.
Aha! So this teacher group has allowed teachers to share their expertise with other teachers, and it's richly rewarding. So being able to share with each other, it allows the students to have uh, expertise that is outside of your primary focus. One can't necessarily be exceptional in all things and meet all the needs of every student, but through collaboration, we can meet more of those needs and stay within our own passion and expertise. What we're doing is focusing on the students' needs. So we all have something special we deliver into our studios. And suddenly we find out that, I learned about the special things that Cami is doing, and vice versa. So here we'll talk about this. How we've shared our expertise to enrich the students' learning experience. Learning how to play from lead sheets. Cami had a special effort that she had in August, wanting her students to understand lead sheets, and I work with them a lot with my students. So I helped her out with that focus. She has an adult student, Chris, that wants to prepare himself to play with his church band. He wants to be able to improvise and play from lead sheets. So in fact, we are both teaching Chris. He has lessons with both of us. And I have taken Chris through my adult course, which is very focused on harmony and theory, to get him ready so that he can play on the keyboard in his church band. He is a guitar player and a fine musician, but he wanted to develop his skills at the piano. So he studies with Cami and he studies with me. Eve wants to see more progress. And so she was a dear child in my life. And when I learned about what Cami's doing with her program, I knew that she would fit in. She's here in Denver area, and she works via Zoom with Cami in her program. So we have CJ and Indra, Vanessa, uh, Inti, Bayou, and Cami want to explore more about composition. And a lot of what I do leads students into developing their skills in composition. So I work with these different students and help them with their focus on composition.
Oops, did I skip one? Okay.
So we ask ourselves, well, why share this expertise? Focus on teaching what you love and know the most, while still being able to share with the student other expertise to enrich and broaden their experience. And so you're very special about what you do in your studio. Other teachers have other aspects that they could maybe help enrich the activities in your studio. This can also help you improve in your own teaching. And that is true with Cami and myself. We have learned a lot from each other. We've been working together for, I don't know, how long, Cami?
I was just going to say, how long has it been? I want to say
Yeah,
August. Since August?
yeah, July, maybe. We
Oh, right.
started
It
talking,
was July.
getting ready for August. Yeah, and we have both really picked up a lot of ideas to enhance our studio experience for our students. So that it has been a very enriching, just from a teacher learning from a teacher. And we
Yeah, and
both learned.
I was just going to jump in and say, and actually, Chris has put Evelyn's course into Piano Marvel. So it kind of created this circle of everyone contributing in all these different ways. It was amazing.
Yes, it's so exciting. I've been trying to get my adult course into Piano Marvel for since about 2008, and Aaron Garner has been helping me, but there have been little wrinkles about it that I haven't been able to figure out. And Chris has done it. He's put it in there. How do we find everyone's course on
Evelyn's.
Piano Marvel?
Evelyn's course.
Oh, my course.
I typed it too
Okay.
fast.
All right. It's still in the making. And so it's not, we just barely got it in there, and now we're refining. And as soon as it's refined, we'll definitely announce it here in the teacher meetings. But we will get the information out. It's not quite ready to go. But I'll show, well, I can't there. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and currently we're working on creating the video tutorials that will be embedded in the exercises in her course that are in Piano Marvel. So it will be really nice.
That's part of it. In fact, when my mentor and I developed the course in 1978, and at that time, he was about 80 then, and he made recordings for every lesson. And as we had I had a book of tapes that we went along with the lesson, because we were in Alaska. And so we needed to reach out, have something that a person can do on their own, because they, of course, couldn't get to us, but we could provide this course to people out in the bush, in the small communities of Alaska. And so he made these tapes. And when my students who would use them would say, he's so boring. The information he was getting was not boring, but he was sort of, but anyway, I have just turned all my tapes over to a guy who is putting them on CD and flash drive. So I'm going to, as I develop the audio directions and the videos for each of these courses, I wanted to go back and hear what Raleigh had to say about each course. He was an amazing guy. He developed this piano course in 1940. So he was working very much with jazz players in the East, and so what he was teaching was how to work with a lead sheet and develop a piece, and how to embellish it and develop it. So that's kind of what the course is all about. Anyway, enough. So when we focus on teaching what you love, and we said that, and we can provide opportunities for passive income, not directly tied into your studio. So that's another thing that we can do in helping each other.
And I feel like this is kind of a big one that we don't think about very often, because as teachers, and you guys can tell me whether this is your experience or not, but my time is so strapped. It's so thin. Everything is dependent on my time, that one-on-one experience. And probably for an income that just lets me provide basic needs, or is just helpful income. Whereas if you have some passive income coming in from what is already your expertise, that can kind of provide a little bit of financial support as you're trying to be there for your students.
Okay, so yeah, let's go on to the next. More students being able to benefit from your learning and experience. Your expertise can benefit students beyond your own studio. And I know in the time that we've had together in these Tuesday morning teacher meetings with Piano Marvel teachers, I have been so impressed with what different individuals are doing. And it's helped me to grow and different ideas, just like what Anne just shared with us about the color chords. So there's a lot that we can gain through this exchange. So some of the examples that wherever you are in your expertise, what you might offer another teacher is ideas about composition and how to help students develop composition, theory and harmonic structure. If the student wants to get into blues and jazz and songwriting, proper technique and advanced skills. And this is one that I have really been aware of. I belong to 3 different teachers organizations here in the Denver area. And we always have a program at every monthly meeting. And I've picked up an awful lot from other teachers in these areas. How to use video editing software. Oh my gosh. I don't know how everybody else is doing, but this is something, and it is really very much the only way we're going to be able to do this video editing and work with this. And Aaron Garner has provided us with several workshops, and he has those workshops available to look at. But that's another one. And music production. How to produce these wonderful pieces that these young people are playing. Improvisation and playing by ear. That is something, and really students love it. Once you can get them into doing more improvisation, they just really enjoy it a lot. And of course, arranging. So picking up a melody line and then deciding what you would like to do what you, the student, would like to do, and helping students to develop their own arrangements of a piece that they like.
Well, and this is by no means comprehensive. Like it goes way beyond so many types of expertise. These are just a few ideas.
Right. Okay, so here's different kinds of expertise in music: exercises, repertoire recommendations, YouTube playlists. These are really helpful. The YouTube playlists, and that's something I will just make a comment about. I like to go to whatever piece my student is working on. I like to go into YouTube and look it up and see if I can find someone playing the piece they're working on. This is so helpful to them to listen to someone else playing the piece they're working on, because it just gives them an idea about that performance. And repertoire recommendations. There are reasons why I direct a student into certain repertoire. It's part of that learning curve. And so we can certainly learn from each other in that way. Games and PDFs, those are things that we can share with each other that will enhance the activity in our studio, particularly if you've got group sessions, working with your group sessions, and that's where a lot of really cool games can come in to just what we need to do is make sure that the student is enjoying their music. And it's really, well, I've been around a lot of things that Aaron does. I've been in watched some of his group sessions because of course he's only down there in Rye, Colorado, which is just south of me about 3 hours. So it's been fun to visit his studio. But being able to have games in groups, and Aaron has shared with us different ideas, but that is really helpful because it helps them learn with games, and that's just cool.
And I'm thinking of like Jody, I can't think of her last name, but she has created like physical games for music. And I know one that I use all the time is music mind games, which is like these are physical resources that are games too. And like the PDFs, they take time to make. So if somebody has made these PDFs for you that are really a great visual representation of something you'd like to teach, that's really helpful.
And let me ask that question, Cami. PDFs that are helpful, where do you find them?
Well, that's what I'm saying is if we shared with one another, a lot of us have created stuff like this for our students, or somebody else has created it. But if you have created it and you're not sharing it, there's an opportunity for you to just have a little bit of passive income, because $1 or $2 for a PDF here or there, you're like, oh, I can use this for all of my students. So if somebody has already created them, you might get them in a book or you might purchase them online. But if it's somebody within our community that is sharing them, they can share them in different ways that maybe they don't even know how to share them, for example.
You know, Cami, that makes me think maybe that would make a nice program coming up in our Tuesday morning programs, to share that resource with each other, and do a program on that. We could ask everyone to contribute, and then we could put together like a presentation like this that would give them some information about doing that.
Sure.
Another one is video instruction, and man, you know, I think, and here again, Aaron Gardner has provided us with some instruction on how to do this, but this is sharing that idea with each other on how are you making videos, and Aaron has shared a lot with us about that in our Tuesday programs, but developing nice videos is it's the thing that is and this is the comment that Aaron made in his presentation. He showed his daughter, and over the years taking the videos, and he's still got all those videos, and he really enjoys being able to go back and look at those videos. So the thing about videos, even you know, if it's an early learning experience with the student, there is much to be gained by making a video of the students playing and having it to go back and look at, and also sharing with grandmas and parents. That is pretty special.
Well, and also like a teacher making a video of them teaching and being able to share their teaching through that video with your students if they're an expert in a certain area, if they create a video like you are for this course, for example, in Piano Marvel, having access to that video, you have access to an expert all of a sudden.
Yes. Yes. And anything you have to share, maybe we could put together a pool of that we're sharing as teachers with each other, and teachers could make their videos about how they teach a certain piece, how they teach that piece. That would be so valuable to everyone else.
I actually use this all the time in Piano Marvel. They have tutorials on some of the pieces that are thorough teaching of the piece. And I'm like, excellent, because then I can come in after that and help at that point. They're really, that's awesome.
Yes. How-to instruction, teaching online using Zoom, claymation, stop motion, creating videos, and creating courses. This is invaluable now, and so valuable to the student. And some of these students, one of Cami's student made the cutest little what that was in the stop motion area, and it's just darling. And these students are so creative and so ahead of all of us in how to do it. So we talk about how can we share our expertise, and master classes are a valuable place to share expertise. And courses, different courses. Cami has a course. I do. Anne, you've got a course, don't you?
Are you talking to Ann Q?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you mean by a course. I'm not sure.
Well, you have a certain, maybe you haven't put it into, but you have a certain direction that you take your students.
Yes. Yeah.
That is just absolutely exciting and delightful. Maybe it's just in your head so far. Maybe someday, because you are.
Or maybe I'm constantly changing it.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, that we do that too, don't we?
Yeah.
It's just that you are so amazing in what you are doing in your studio, and and you have shared a lot with us, but it would be fun to be able to go and look at something to let us see how you really walk through some of the things you do. But anyway, that's something for you to think about. You might think about developing a course. So what else do we have? Videos and Zoom feedback of student performances. Yes. That is another level in putting together a performance video and keeping that video going so that a teacher can provide feedback of that student performance. That is very valuable, because think about it. In your studio, your student has just played a really nice Scarlatti sonatina, and you have comments to help them play that and watch what they're doing and then give them feedback. Well, while the student is sitting there in those moments, while you in your lesson, you're giving them that feedback. That's great, and they may remember half of it. But if they had a video, if there was a video that they could go back and look at it and really pay attention to how they were playing and what the comments were, that's a real learning experience.
Yeah, and I know when we brought this up, we were talking about having another teacher give feedback of your students' performance. I know this happens sometimes in festivals and things like that. So it's kind of an extension of that idea but it would be more personal between you and another teacher. I know I learn so much by watching other teachers teach. I've done this a few times where I walk away going, oh my goodness, I hadn't even thought about that, or considered that. And so it gives the student a more broadened experience with feedback for their performance. And it also helps them realize one way is not the only way, that there's a wide variety of ways to approach things.
Yes, yes. And really, as a teacher, just let your memories start playing. Certainly, you have grown a lot from when you started teaching, and all of the growth that you personally have had, and so this is what we're talking about, is sharing this growthful experience for the teacher, that the teacher can learn by, say, watching something like this and seeing how another teacher, and of course that's what we do get in master classes. That's what they're, well, we think that a master class is there for the student and the teacher that is involved in the master class and evaluations of the student. But I have sat in on a lot of master classes and I have learned a lot. So master classes really are a learning experience for the teachers. So here's some important thoughts about referrals and agreed upon terms. And this is something, and Cami and I have talked about this. There must be trust. You really need to trust your relationship. There's no poaching. There's an agreement that that student will never transfer into another teacher's studio unless they have previously agreed to refer the student. And it's some kind of a referral. And understand that a perfect match teacher-student can change over time based on age and focus. And so this is the part that when Cami and I talked about, we do have a certain relationship that is very much built on trust. But when we thought about talking about this morning, that is a real reluctance that teachers have in doing this kind of sharing, because you don't want to lose a student. And sorry, kill that call. This is just really important. We can be reluctant to refer a student to maybe take a month of additional lessons with this other teacher, and then we fear that we're going to lose that student. So that has to be a well-established rapport between teachers, because you really can learn a lot yourself in working with another teacher, and your students will also gain a lot by working with another teacher. But this part this part is really so important in considering getting into this kind of a relationship with another teacher.
Oh, okay. So yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Cami.
I was going to say this was something that came up in Piano Marvel the other day. They were doing a giveaway, and somebody said, what if we gave away a month of lessons from a certified Piano Marvel teacher? And I was like, oh, I love that so much on so many levels. And so I put this in here because it kind of goes along. Let me see if I can stop my share here. Kind of goes along with what we're talking about, this collaboration, working together and enriching the student experience. So we were going to present this in this, just see what you guys thought about that idea. Michelle, are your kids in a calm state where you could jump in? Because I know I think she has something to say about this.
Calm enough, sort of.
We'll take it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this until you brought it up to me that someone had mentioned this.
Yeah, but I was in that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that it's a really cool idea. I think there's a lot of potential to be able to help, students who are learning by themselves be introduced to teachers, and hopefully after, a month of free lessons, they'll just become permanent, fixtures in your studio.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
No guarantee, but a cool opportunity potentially. Yeah. Well, and go ahead, Evelyn.
Well, and another thing I just wanted to share, I was talking with Esther, and she heard about my course, and she wanted to understand it better. So Esther and I have been meeting once a week and going through the course. So that is another thing that, a teacher to teacher, you can help. I mean, there is so much that Anne has to offer. I keep referring to that, but she's just such a delight. And so this is a really great idea, teachers sharing with teachers. And like I say, that's what Esther and I are doing. She wanted to see the course, and so I'm walking her through it. And that's just, we're all here to grow, and the more we can grow and develop ourselves to share with our students, it's just, we're all teachers of teachers teaching.
Yes, and you're welcome to all of you that Evelyn and I were guinea pigs in this. That we jumped in and gave this a shot. And my studio has benefited tremendously. We have really wanted to venture more into those creative aspects of, well, I have, and I just didn't feel like I had enough of a background in that. And Evelyn has contributed so much to our studio being able to incorporate more creativity into their playing. And we get the benefit of having Evelyn's influence as well, which is a wonderful influence on my students and perspective, and it just enriches the entire experience. And we had an agreement of how things would work beforehand, and we follow through with our agreements, and everything has been really wonderful in that way. And I know when I shared one time in this group about creating a theory course for the piano marble trophy cases, there were several teachers who said, can you make that available to us? We would like to have access to that. That's another example of sharing. Like, it's something that was created that I can share and could benefit other teachers. And I have not done that yet because I don't feel like it's all polished pretty yet. So I'm working on that. But we have played around with these different ways of contributing to each other's studios. And as far as I'm concerned, and now I feel like I've been more of the beneficiary in this situation, but as far as I'm concerned, it has been a great thing for my studio. So I do want to ask what all of your thoughts are and concerns. Oh, because one concern that I know or believe is going to come up that we have not addressed. This whole presentation, we've been like using the word sharing expertise. And I could just hear so many in your head saying, I don't have expertise. Like, what are they talking about? I can't do any of the things that they put on there. Everyone has expertise because you come from your own set of experiences, and it's just identifying what that expertise is where, because you don't even realize you have expertise until somebody says, oh, that would really help my studio. And you just didn't even know because you're like, oh, I'm just a neighborhood teacher and I just teach basic. And no, you probably have something really unique that you could offer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's open it up. We can unspotlight us. Let's open it up. Unless, Evelyn, did you have anything else before we open it up to everyone?
No, I think that we've been able to cover it very well with your wonderful presentation. That was really, really nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My contribution. Yeah, if we can unspotlight us and then just open it up to everyone, I want to hear your thoughts that you're thinking about this. I could go around person to person, or if you just want to jump in with your thoughts. Michelle, do you want to go first?
I just think this is a really valuable idea. And we had a conversation about the whole idea of like not feeling threatened by other teachers and what they can bring to the table. And I think it's a really good mindset to have, that we're, especially as this like piano marble community, we all have the same goals and we're in different areas and we have different approaches, but we all want the same thing. We want students to be able to reach their full potential. So I think it's a cool idea to be able to with different things that we may not be able to offer or not offer as well, to kind of really acknowledge that and look for those other teachers that can offer like our students the things that they're really looking for. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and for sharing your experience, because you're, as far as I know, the first in this group to be able to kind of come from 2 different piano marble studios and approaches and kind of mix them. So it's been cool to hear.
Yeah. Oh, and I've enjoyed the process, and I was really excited that Evelyn was on board with trying it, because it does feel like a little risky, and it's not actually. When it's all set up correctly, it's just fully beneficial for both studios. But one thing I was going to say, and oh, did I lose it? Oh, I hate it when I have something and it's gone. Oh, just that this opportunity to collaborate in this way is becoming more of an option than it ever was, just because of our ability to connect over distance and to be able to share resources over a distance. Like, that's kind of a newish thing, or at least we're getting used to creating resources in that way to be able to share. And you know, so it seems like a lot of times a teacher feels like an island, like they're teaching their way in their studio, and this is how I do things. And when there's this type of collaboration, it's just, what's the word for it? Dynamic, like it just enriches everyone in the whole experience. So, Anne, you were mentioned several times by Evelyn. What are your thoughts?
You're muted, Anne.
I was just going to tell you how expert I am at using Zoom, but you need to unmute. You need to unmute. That's funny. It happens all the time. Almost every lesson I start and some kid yells out, "You need to turn on original sound." They're so quick to, because you know, nowadays it turns itself off when you,
Yes.
Yeah, it keeps turning itself off, and kids catch me all the time on that. Okay, I confess, I have really become expert in teaching online and really engaging kids online and using every trick in the book. And I'm doing more than I've seen any other teacher do. And I keep inventing new stuff so that they're really engaged. And I would be happy to share what I've learned and what I'm experimenting with anybody, anytime, because I'm pretty passionate about that. It's not just using Zoom and Manycam, it's all the other things that we do to make these lessons lively and interesting, because kids, you know, I'm teaching kids, and they're not just going to sit and stare at the screen, you know.
And some, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So maybe adults can do that, but kids can't. They have to be engaged. And anyway, I'm not going to give you my whole course right now, but I'm happy to show that. The other thing I'm expert at is really getting kids involved with piano marble, and it's all different ways and all different tricks that we've learned. So those are the 2 things I'm good at. What I'm terrible at, what I need your help with, is what do I do when the kids are advanced beyond my music education, which is literally 0, except what I've learned, you know, taught myself. And so I feel really inadequate. I've got a couple students that are playing at my level, you know, and I don't know what to teach them and what not to teach them and so forth.
That's awesome that you have such clarity about where your expertise is and where you want people to come in and collaborate and help. That's so awesome. And one thing I want to bring up, because me and Evelyn both have this, I'm going to call it a malady, but it's also a virtue. But in this situation, it can, what I'm going to say is that we tend to want to give everything for free, especially to our colleagues. Because we love them, but we have to remember that our time is valuable. So when we are sharing these resources and these expertise, to recognize that they're actually worth somebody paying some money for. Yeah. So it could be a very small amount, but it needs to be requisite to the time involved with what you're sharing. So like for me and my course, I spent probably over 800 hours creating that course. I'm probably going to charge a few dollars for people who are, going to use that course. And I was just going to say the same thing about the time you put into becoming an expert at teaching online, somebody else has not put that time in. They're coming to you to say, please help me to not have to put that time in. Like, please just solve this very quickly for me and help me very quickly. And so I'm not saying you have to charge a lot necessarily, but it's something to take into account, right, Evelyn, that we have this tendency to not charge, which is so virtue and so magnanimous and so great. But I think we need to value what we're bringing to the table as well.
Yeah, I'm also real good at improvising and teaching kids how to compose. Pretty much.
Yeah. Awesome.
So now I'm done confessing. You go to somebody.
Okay. But Anne, we want to know how to do it.
Right now?
Well, but if you could find a way to, and what I'm thinking is like make a video that is a video of teaching how to work with these different specialty areas you have, and then like if it was up on YouTube or someplace, or figure out a way that you can share it and let us pay you to view that video. And I don't know how all that works. You probably know more than I do, but
what would be cool, and I know we're not at this place yet, but if in the teacher portal at Piano Marvel, resources that teachers had created, if they could it could kind of be like a store, where you're like, I would love to get this course. I would love to get this course. And now, as far as the students are concerned, in Piano Marvel, we are, Michelle, tell me if this is right, because maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but we're essentially moving toward wanting to have teacher resources in the app. So when, like Evelyn's doing, so when people use them, you actually get a certain amount for every time somebody uses your resource, whatever it might be. Just like if you put a song in there, you're going to get something every time somebody uses that song. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, so anything that can be in like the course that Evelyn is putting in right now, that's something that basically we have to go through like a series of
process.
Yeah, the whole process of it's content that we want in the app and everybody agrees, and the whole red tape stuff. But if we decide that a course is something we want in Piano Marvel, then we will pay you for the minutes that people spend in that course. So it's definitely, if you have a course that you want the wider world and not just your students to be able to access, then let us know and we can go through that process to try to get it available to everyone and be able to pay you for it.
Right. Let's go to Cindy. Are you even available, Cindy? I can see your picture is off, but are you there?
I'm here. I'm just sick, so it's better for you to have a picture than me.
I just barely got over a cold. I sounded like a bass.
Yeah, I don't know what I have. I'm on an antibiotic, but anyway, it's not COVID. Anyway, I was one of those thinking, I don't have any expertise.
That's hilarious because we use you as an example all the time
Well, I
in
was
group
thinking-
You
teaching.
have a lot, Cindy. You have a lot to offer us.
Trying to think what that might be, but anyway, you know, when Ann Q mentioned about teaching online, I would love to learn from her. And I'm thinking, how best do we go about that so her time is compensated and we have the opportunity to learn from her? I'm not sure what the answer is, but I would be on board to learn more about that because, you know, I teach my granddaughter online, but I don't know any magic tricks or, you know, I'm sure she would have a lot to offer. So those
Right.
are, you know, I was thinking
So
about.
here's the thing, Cindy. You know, they said, well, make a course. Yeah, but the same way I teach individuals, I teach every kid differently. I teach every class differently.
And I do too.
And if I were teaching, working with another teacher to say, here's how you can improve your online stuff, it would be different from the way I would teach another teacher, because I would want to know your goals, your what you have available to you, what you're fluent in, what you don't want to do. You know, it really, for me, is a one-on-one thing always. That's how I teach, and that's how I would teach adults. I would teach you too.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if this is even a possibility, but
Absolutely.
it would be fun for me to join in quietly, never saying anything, watching her online through Zoom do her thing, and
Yeah.
I could glean the things that would work for me.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought
But I
about
don't know how
the
that.
things.
you know.
The thing about that is, I don't want the kids distracted by another face, because I keep my screen open to gallery all the time.
Well, what
And
you
the
could
kids
do,
might
Anne,
also- Yes,
what you could do easily, record your lesson.
I
And
do.
just
I
share-
record them. I make two separate recordings. I make a speaker recording and I make a gallery recording. And the kids
Yeah.
always get a copy of one. So I've got loads of recordings I could share, you know.
I mean, that would be the same thing. She'd just be sitting in and watching it. It would just be
Well,
recording.
That's not the same as actually what's going on behind the scenes. You know,
Right.
I've thought about that.
So it's interesting to maybe play around with that thought. So that would be interesting to me.
I probably have about 50 videos up on YouTube. I've started taking some of them down, but they're all up there. But they're very restricted in usage, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be an interesting thing to kind of think through and play around with, because I know all of us teach online at least a little bit. And I know we all kind of have different approaches and tools in our tool belt for, I mean, I actually only teach online, which is same as Michelle and Anne and Evelyn, right? Do we all just teach online? Yeah. So I think each person probably would have something. It could even be a collaborative effort to create something that could be shared with other people. And the nice, I mean, Piano Marvel does this type of thing freely all the time, which is such an incredible resource. And this group itself has shared tons of expertise for free. And the preparation that goes into sharing that, including all the expertise they're sharing, that's been a real gift, you know, really, really great thing to give. But I was just thinking of with Cindy, how many people are trying to effectively use Piano Marvel in group teaching and they want to move in that direction. And you're like a poster child of successfully using Piano Marvel in group teaching. So when you said, I don't know what I'm an expert in, I'm like, I do. In that particular way that you teach, in the particular setting that you teach. Like, I know Brandon, my husband, has been editing a lot of the content that Michelle got when she went to California and took some video of you in your studio. And I'm so impressed. I think, wow, this is so helpful. This is so great. So I would definitely say at least that is your expertise, if not more.
Well, thank you. I think one thing that has helped me in the group classes is that we do a lot of games. And, you know, maybe I could write up some kind of PDF on the games that we do. And a lot of it is just sometimes on the fly too. I mean, I'm a former teacher in the classroom, and you get pretty good at seeing something and saying, hey, that could be a game, you know?
Yeah.
You just kind of get good at making things up that are fun.
And I think it would be fun. Well, you're in person, but if if you had a way of teaching online some of these group games, we could even have you come as a guest in our studio to teach those games, you know, and to interact with our students, which would be fun, a fun way to do it as well.
Yeah.
But,
So I don't
but
know.
I know you're in person, but
Yeah, there's lots of things, but I've really enjoyed seeing what you guys do, because like you said, everybody's studio is very different. Everybody's background and experience is very different. And, you know, a lot of the things that I hear, I think, oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I could add that, you know? So it's been great to be on this particular venue or whatever.
Well, and something else great about being in this venue is to recognize that everybody feels inadequate in some way. Because like when I see all these amazing things everybody's doing, instantly I'm like, wow, I feel inadequate. Like, I don't know that I'm offering that much. But then they'll come out and say, well, I feel inadequate in this way. And that to me helps me feel like we're all dealing with the same things, just in different ways. And that's been beneficial for me as well. I know we lost Alfredo. I was going to ask him, but he must have had to go at 11, because that's right exactly what time it is. I'll quickly ask Esther. I know we're right at the hour, but I wanted to see if she had anything she wanted to share.
Okay, so I had different questions, but I'll try not to be long. I wondered about Ann's Q Let's Play Music. I was wondering how you get that curriculum, because that would be an absolutely amazing introduction to Piano Marvel.
Yeah, well, you don't get the curriculum. You sign up. You sign up to train as a teacher. You certify, and then you have the use of the curriculum.
Is the curriculum in Piano Marvel?
No, of course not. Oh, the songs. Well, I should say this. The songs that the children play are in Piano Marvel as a freebie, and it's listed as Let's Play Music. I can even pull it up for you at time. But to actually teach the curriculum with all the hundreds of pages of teacher instruction and visual aids and all the other stuff, you need to sign up. You need to go through training and be certified. And we're constantly looking for more teachers, because there's a huge demand for this right now.
So do they do that in Canada? Like, because I moved to Nova Scotia.
I think there are teachers in Canada. Why don't you go to the Let's Play Music website and look for Find a Teacher and see if the map includes Canada.
Okay.
Okay, because if I don't know if you realize this, but Let's Play Music they have one curriculum for the toddlers through age 4, and that's called Sound Beginnings. Then there's a curriculum for ages 4 to 6 called Let's Play Music. Then there's a curriculum for ages 7 to 12, and that's called Presto. And you can train in any one of those areas. So you basically you're getting a license to use the curriculum.
Okay, so what is the toddler one?
It's called Sound Beginnings, and the classes are 30 minutes long. The child attends with a parent, and the parent can bring all the siblings, under 4. So usually the moms bring, a baby and a toddler or whatever. It's for the real little ones. It's pre-kindergarten skills. Michelle knows something. Yeah, Michelle knows more about it than I do.
Yeah, my kids do it and they love it. I love it. It's awesome.
Okay, yeah. So Michelle, do you know if you can do it in Canada?
I have no idea. I think so.
I would think so, but you can easily find out. Give them a call or send them an email. It's easy to contact them.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question, if you don't mind. I was wondering, I bought some rhythm cups, and I didn't know how to upload them into Piano Marvel. Is that possible? Like the sound part that you follow. Is that possible? Because what I want, they only give you 3 different tempos, and I wanted all the tempos in between as well.
Yeah, you just have to create a MuseScore version of the soundtrack and then upload it just like you would upload any piece of music.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
But if you have questions or need help with that, but yeah, it's the uploading part is simple. The creating it in MuseScore may not be, depending on what format they give you.
Yeah, I just want to say something about that. Muse score lately has been absolutely flawless, perfect. Muse score 4 is like no problems whatsoever. I don't know what I'm doing right, but it's amazing.
Oh, thank you for that.
Working. Didn't used to work, and now it works.
Okay, so make sure you get Muse score 4, right?
Just it'll be the most recent. Yeah. Just
Okay.
if you score and make it dated, it'll be the most recent.
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as like incorporating some of the things that we've been talking about today and how to go about doing that, I don't know if anybody has anything to say about that, but just throwing it out there that it's an exciting adventure, and I encourage people to just try this with someone you trust to see how it impacts your students and your studio.
I was just wondering how you two did it as far as like payment and stuff goes. Are you paying each other? Are you just bartering your services because you're both helping each other? Like how's that going?
So it's different with each of the situations. So with the lead sheets, Evelyn did that free of charge for our studio, which was very nice of her to do. I'm hoping to help her with creating, so kind of a bartering thing. I offered my courses for her students, but they're more advanced, I think, than the courses that I have ready for them. So that's not beneficial. So I might help with creating that video tutorial content and just kind of feel like I've contributed in some way to her experience. With Eve, that is somebody special in her life that she referred to me because she felt like I would be a good teacher for Eve. And so that really is a full referral. And I feel the weight of that. Like every time I teach her, I feel like I need to do a good job with Eve because this is, Evelyn's, somebody important to Evelyn. And then it's kind of the same for Chris. So Chris has been my student for a long time. And I just realized he was going in a direction I wanted him to have more specific training in playing from lead sheets, improvising, and Evelyn is very, that's her, that's what she does. And so it essentially what I told him was, I want you to work with Evelyn until you feel like you've gotten from her what you need to be able to do what you want to do. That may be for the rest of his life. I don't know. And it may be that we, he starts working with me later on for a specific thing. Like that's kind of open-ended a little bit, but I pay her. So when he has lessons with her, I pay her. And the only reason is because he already paid for me for an entire year. So it's just kind of another step in the process. I'm trying to think of what other situations. Oh, the Festival for Creative Pianists. That's what me and so many of my students are participating in. That is an adjunct to what we're doing in our studio, and it's free. So they're not her students, but they're benefiting from all of the teaching artists that are in that festival. And so that is for a limited time of no charge. So that's kind of how we worked out the logistics of all the different components of how we're collaborating with one another. Did I miss anything, Evelyn? We've collaborated on so many things.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I was just wondering how you've been doing it. So we can kind of model after that because it seems to have worked well for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been good. The only issue that I have is sometimes I forget to get that payment to her right after the month because all of my students' payments are subscriptions. So it automatically comes out of the accounts. So I'm not very accustomed to activating a payment. So I probably should get it figured out how it just automatically pays her, but that's the only thing that I feel a little bad about is sometimes it's like 10 days into the next month and I'm like, wait, what lessons did you do?
Yeah, well, it's just fine. But I wanted to comment that in the Festival for Creative Pianists, I'm the program director there, and my commitment to students who become involved in the Festival for Creative Pianists is that when they get started in it, I meet with them once a week and tutor them in looking at the activities and projects that are there. So that is how, and I've got several of Cami's students who are in the festival. And so that is my commitment in the festival. We've been able to get donations to support the activities of the festival, and that includes my time there. So that's how I get involved with Cami with quite a few of her students.
Yes, and this is actually where it's understood that transferring over to Evelyn as their teacher is not an option. That's not what's going on here. So I don't have to worry about them falling in love with her, because they will. That's just
right.
What's going to happen, because they know that's not even something to be considered. And that's an important part of the process, because I need to be the one that refers. I need to be the one that says, I would like to refer my student to you as a teacher. And if somebody's doing what we're doing with the festival, it's really important that the student understands that this is not somebody you can transfer over to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Although I think my students benefit highly from Evelyn, so it's not that, but it's just kind of that respect you have between, these are my students kind of thing.
Yes, it's that aspect of maintaining, I'm a support with these students. They are Cami students, and that's part of what Cami and I are sharing with you, is that you really need a well-established agreement on how you're working.
And I just realized as I'm saying this that I was like, you should charge for your stuff. So Evelyn and I have not been that great about that, because we're both like really giving individuals, but we probably want to move more in that direction as a whole. But I'm probably one of the worst people about that. So.
Well, and you are right, Cami. People should get remuneration for what they do. I guess I'm kind of personally in a place of really wanting to support teachers, and so I guess I'm in a more of a giving place right now, because it's really important to me now to just help people, and so I am kind of in a giving place.
We're grateful for that. We're very grateful for that. Well, and for me, and I don't know where everybody is in their life, but like putting food on the table has become more challenging with the price of everything. Everything has become much more challenging financially. And so I'm almost being forced into a place where I'm like, I have to give, ask for my time, some compensation of some kind. Not because I want to be wealthy, but because I don't want to be stressed to the hilt. So it just is an important part of the process to value what you're offering. But I am not good at it. But I do plan on getting better at it. So.
I think, I'm in one place, as I just said, but I think everyone should find a way to get remuneration as a teacher for whatever you're doing, and we really want to learn from you, and you need to find a way to get that remuneration, because you definitely have an active student that you need to do that. You need to get the remuneration. So everyone is in their own place, but we do tend to do that, and we need to remember that we have studios that they're our livelihood.
And we want to not put more on others' plates. We want to take things off their plates. So if people are giving things for free, it's just another thing on their plate, which they love to do. But if they are actually getting remunerated, I don't know if I said that right, then it's helping them as well. It's not just an additional thing, especially if they've made a resource that they only have to make once, and then it can benefit a lot of different people. That's what passive income is. So that'd be cool to have more of that happening in the teacher community. Does anybody have any, looks like Bear. Does anybody have any questions before we close this? And thank you for staying an additional 15 minutes. No, I don't think so. Michelle? She's here.
Sorry, dealing with sibling squabbles. Yeah. Thank you so much, you guys, for sharing your experience with us. I'm excited to try to collaborate more with other teachers. Not something I've really done. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, is that all? Or anybody have any other questions or anything?
That's all we have. That's all we've got.
Okay, so our next meeting is going to be the first Tuesday of March. I can't remember what day that is. And it'll be a challenge kickoff for the soundtracks challenge. So that's Disney challenge plus more this time. So it's all like show tune music, Disney songs, movie music, TV shows, video games, all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of really cool music. So we're really excited.
But that's March 7th.
March 7th. Okay, so it'll probably be another play party then. So not necessarily a kickoff, but just,
Right.
we get to play as many as possible. So
But it's a full month, that challenge is.
yeah,
Because the YouTube competition is only 9 days away or something, and then it goes into that challenge.
sorry, things are crazy over here. And they may be for a few more months because Ashley's just in that stage. So, but yeah, we're really excited about it. And yeah, the YouTube competition, like Cami said, that's coming to an end. So get your students' videos in. We only have a week left. So a week from today.
Oh, you're right. It's a week. Oh, I lost a few days. Okay. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.